brand new month to continue where you have left off. If you're still behind, then it's a reminder that time and tides waits for no man. So get on with it. This is how I welcome you to yet another episode of Keister, the Real Talk Show. With me in the studio, it's a legendary music guru, the king of rap, who has not only made a name for himself, but has also paved the way for other artists. He's a signee on the Seven Wallace record label in England, owned by Sierra Leonean British actor Idris Elba. His unique rapping styles always gets his fans on the edges of their seats. His name? Find out right after this break.
Let's watch the Real Talk with Aline TV show. By our very own daughter of Sierra Leone, Aline Keister.
Welcome back to Keister, the Real Talk Show. Today I am excited. I am honored. It's a privilege for me to bring this particular person in the studio. He happens to be my best friend, you know. Yeah, if you don't know now, you know, yes, I am proud. But anyways, he goes by the name Shadowboxer. Everybody help me welcome Shadowboxer. He's in the building. Welcome, Shadow.
Yes. Thank you for having me. I appreciate you. I feel honored. To be here. It's been you got your show running now for a while.
Yeah.
And you're my best friend, like you said. And this is my first time here. So anyway, I'm here.
Right, imagine that. It took me a minute, regardless of the friendship. It's like, I'm not ready. When I'm ready, I'll hit you up. And now we're here. Right, what's good? What's been going on with you?
Not much, man. Just living life in the Republic. Enjoying it. Got married a couple years ago.
Congratulations.
So, thank you. Doing the family guy thing, husband, dad, and all that. But still got a few things I'm working on regarding like music and stuff like that. But for the most part, man, just I've been chilling, man. Just getting myself, staying in my lane, just mentally prepping myself.
Okay, so are you here or are you still in America?
I'm here. I'm in Freetown. I spend most of my time here. I do go to the States when I need to handle, what I need to handle. But other than that, my wife's here, our daughter's here.
Right.
And so I spend most of my time out here.
Yeah, for those who've been asking, he lives in the Republic. Yeah, Shadow is in Sierra Leone. He's been here. He's just been hiding.
Yeah.
But anyways, of course, when they talk about Shadowboxer, everybody talks about the, except the rap king. You've paved the way for a lot of different artists. However, the fans really want to know what's going on with you and your music. Let's start with that.
Man. So I've been planning to come out with new music for a very long time now. I want to say probably a couple years. I would say I have a body of work that I've been sitting on it pretty much. There are days where I'm very indecisive. I don't know if I want to put it out. Being very critical of myself. There are days where I'm super excited about it, but I've just been sitting on this work for a couple of years now. But God willing, everything works out as planned. It's sometime in March, before Ramadan, God willing, I'll reveal this project.
Okay. But it's been a minute, like you just said earlier, and maybe because you're not sure. If sometimes you're going to put it out, somebody you don't,
Right.
Your fans are really not happy with you right now because they feel like, you're just there not really doing anything. And then you recently released a song, but Barley, they weren't really quite happy.
Okay.
They were like, I think I saw a comment. It was like, Shadow, you don't waste the time. All this while the waits for you, and then you drop this just like that.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, so when you say indecisive as far as music, how many records you have right now that are just sitting there?
The ones. If I'm going to talk about completed ones that are completed structure wise, probably say like 50.
Okay.
But I have a whole bunch of stuff that I started that I never finished.
Okay.
But I still like the vibe of them, but they're just sitting on my laptop and I haven't completed those. So if I have to count those, then we're probably talking in a couple of hundreds.
Okay.
Of just unfinished work. But stuff that I had that structure wise completed, I got a good number to probably just drop 3 albums if I wanted to.
Okay.
So, but again, it's all about that whole being indecisive and whatnot. And this is your show. There's some stuff I want to talk about.
Of course, because right. But as a rapper, you know what I mean. I know all the artists, even as an artist, not just a rapper, like all they live for is music. They're ready to put out music anytime.
Right.
So for somebody, Shadow Box was over Shadow Box, you're somebody, the country,
Right.
Was really looking to take us international.
Right.
You know what I mean? So for you to sit here and say, okay, my God, sometimes I want to do it, sometimes I want to do it, it's like a big blow.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
I mean, what are some of the challenges? Like,
if I'm have to be candid, I mean, obviously, this is the Real Talk with Ellen Keister show.
right.
You're like my little sister. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I could tell your audience, like I battle with a lot of things mentally. You know what I'm saying? I battle a lot of things mentally. I have these mental challenges where one moment I'm feeling this way, and the next moment I'm feeling another way. Let's just call it down, or even in that probably depressed state or whatever. And it could linger, like it could linger for a very long time. You know what I mean? And I stay in that state of mind where even if there are things that I had already told myself that this is what I'm going to do, A, B, C, and I'm going to execute this way or whatever. And next thing you know, I could put my head down, and when I put it back up, a year has gone by, and I didn't even know that I was in that state for that long. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of people on the outside looking in, like, you know what I'm saying, oh my God, Shadow Boxer, he's this, he's that, and he got everything made for him. Why is he over here not doing this or whatever? Well, that's just that's the core. That's the core of it all. You know what I mean? Like, I go through certain things where it cripples me mentally. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes how to even get up out of it, sometimes I have no idea. But I've been fighting it.
So in other words, you suffer from depression.
Yeah.
Right. And he goes, like you're saying, by the time you know a year has gone by.
Yeah.
So how are you able to bounce back from it? Because we all really just going through it, but how Shadow is able to at least bounce back.
Yeah. So and that's a good thing you said. Like everybody in some way, shape, or form is deals with it. However, it's very subjective because how how it may affect you is not how it weighs on me. You know what I'm saying? And everybody with certain life experiences, life triggers, and certain things and whatnot, that's what will depend on how deep it can actually go. But with support, family support, family support specifically, most importantly, my wife, just there. You know what I mean? She's just there. Professional help. I mean, combination with that.
Wow.
I mean, just a bunch of things. You know what I mean? So it's been an ongoing struggle. It's been an ongoing struggle. In so many ways, if sometimes you were to see me on a flyer or something, and you see you got the glasses on, you got the bald head,
right.
And he's smiling or whatever. Like, look at him, everything's good with him. But you actually don't know. You don't know what's going on. It's really going on.
And that's exactly what's happening out there. As far as they're concerned, they say, oh, he doesn't take the music seriously. Look at all those people who were really trying to be you growing up. Now they're all doing good. And then Shawty's just there. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's how they see it. However, the reasons.
Right.
Well, are you good now? Like, are you better?
I don't think you could ever be.
Okay.
You could ever be in that state where you say, okay, I'm out. You know what I mean? It's putting certain coping mechanisms in place, having your support system, definitely being as spiritual as you can possibly be, turning to God. Right. That's the only way you can basically cope with it. And also understanding that you're not alone. There's a lot of people that go through it, and they have ways that they can cope, and you can actually cope together. Right. So that's the only way. But to answer the question more specifically, if I'm better, yes, I'm definitely in a much better mental space today. I like how I feel today. I like how I feel about music today. I listen to some of my songs, stuff that I've created that I've just put to the side that I don't even want to listen to sometimes. Over the past couple of days, I've been listening to them, and I'm like, oh man, dude, you're dope.
You are dope, buddy.
You know what I mean? Like, what are you doing?
That is.
Yeah, So that's where we at. That's where we at today.
I'm really happy to hear that. It's really good, and I'm happy you were able to say it here. I don't want you to lose. Welcome back. This is Ellen Keister, the Word Talk Show. I have Shadow Boxer in the building. Welcome back, Shadow.
Yes, yes, yes. I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to be here.
Yes, and I am excited and honored. We're just talking about your music, of course, what's been going on with you, of which you've mentioned one or two things. However, now going back to you as Shadow with age and everything else, do you feel like you're aging? Like, because I think at one point when you disappeared, even the fans were like, oh, you know, it's the time they beat time and things like that. Because, you know, of course, you're over 40, but he knows it's not a secret. You don't
Right.
hide your age.
Indeed.
But yeah, do you feel like, you know, I mean, like you should just really give up on music or still continue doing it?
So that's the thing. You can look at it so many ways, right? You can look at it from a realistic standpoint, which is music is a young man's game, right? It's the kind of music, kind of genre even I'm into, which is hip hop. I mean, there's a certain age bracket that you're in, and that's your prime years, in terms for you to be as productive and be as marketable as you can be. So yeah, I'm definitely out of the range. You know what I mean? Way past it. I'm in my late 40s. If we have to be honest. However, a creative is a creative. I could be 600 years old. You know what I mean? And I still feel the need to create, and I don't just create. It feeds my soul. First and foremost, the reason why we are creatives is not because of money or because we wanted to drive a certain market. It's because, it was just instilled in us, spiritually. It's something we can do. It makes us feel good, and we create. We happen to have now managers and business people, and they can say, okay, now because you got this gift, now we can actually make money by doing X, Y, Z. You know what I mean? But other than that, we're still going to create. But yeah, I'm at that stage where I've been thinking of so many ways to transition. So even with some of this new work that I have coming out, most of my listeners, or my fans will say, "Oh, that's a different, Shadow Boxer right there." I'm just finding ways where if I'm even in my 50s and I feel as if I want to express myself, I want to do it through a certain medium or a certain genre that is comfortable, that people can still understand and can relate to the music I'm trying to put out. And at the same time, nobody's looking at me like, "Oh my God, is he selling out? Is he being different?" It's when you hear it, it's just another version, or it's just Shadow Boxer evolving. Okay. You know what I mean? He's evolving into something else. He's still Sierra Leonean. He still is, that guy to the core, but he's just evolving. He's getting older. What you gonna do?
Right. Is that why you released Bob Marley that people didn't really like? Yeah.
So let me tell you thing about Bob Marley. Bob Marley's a dope record, and I'll always look at it like a dope record. Okay. You know what I mean? I will never put music out where everyone say every single person likes it. You know what I mean? I give you a good example. Confidential. Confidential is a record that majority of the people liked, right? You know who didn't really like that record? Me.
I remember that.
Yeah, I didn't really like that record. You know what I mean? But hey, majority of people like it, then cool. Alhamdulillah. They did like it. I thank God for having a record that most of the people in the country like. Okay. So everybody's not gonna like everything you put out. But Bob Marley's a dope record. Take a listen to the words. Take a listen to the lyrics. Listen to the energy, listen to the vibe, feel it. You know what I mean? That's what it was. I didn't release that record because I wanted you to dance in the club or I wanted you to have something that you could compare to Confidential. Okay. No, Bob Marley was just what it was.
I think that's a disappointment though, because it didn't really come with a disclaimer. I'm not expecting you to have a disclaimer. It was more, okay, Shadow's releasing the song, the fans were really excited, and then they hear it, it was like, huh? What's this?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So now that you've explained it, it makes more sense to me to say, okay, you're just gonna put out records because that's how you feel.
Exactly.
However, your fans are still trying to have you, compete, because as far as they're concerned, everybody's competing in the industry.
Right.
And then try to get, hit records where people can dance to it.
Right. Again, I'm gonna go back to the whole thing where music is a young man's game. Okay. You know what I mean?
Right.
I'm not at the stage that I'm at. I'm not trying to compete. I'm not trying to compete. I'm being very realistic for what it is I do. If anything, I'm trying to do is I'm trying to inspire and help. Right. Help those that are actually active enough and say, what can I do to add to their craft? As to what they're doing to make them better. You know what I mean? Yeah, as you know, I have a very good relationship with Dresler. He consults with me most of the time. We have conversations.
That's your son.
Yeah, exactly. That's my son. we have those conversations. And I'll do the same for any other creator that's out there, especially the ones that I see pushing, making that effort and are brilliant enough and are keeping it 100% Sierra Leone. You know what I mean? Like, those are the ones that I'm really drawn to, you know? So I would do that. But, yeah, I'll tell you, which camera am I looking at? Which one? This one? I'm going to tell you now, like, most of my work that's coming out is it's not going to be confidential driven. You know what I mean? It's records that I believe most people need to listen to and get the vibe from it and be inspired by and get the overall message. I will throw a couple of little dance records in there, but other than that, man, that's the majority of what you're gonna get.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Seven Wallace. That's
Right.
another confusion.
Right.
You know, around the world, because Sierra Leone's are all over the place. You were signed to Seven Wallace. Of course, people thought you were signed as an artist. Can you break it down for us? So Idris's label signed you as what? Very
good question. Idris Seven Wallace is a I want to say the parent company of Seven Wallace is Universal Music Group. Okay. So Seven Wallace is signed to Universal Music Group. Seven Wallace, through them, signed me while I'm still under Universal Music Group. So let's get that one. So basically all the contractual agreements and everything, whatever, the parent company is Universal Music Group. If you actually were to go, I mean, I believe I am on Seven Wallace's website, but if you actually go on Universal Music Group's website, I'm actually there listed as a writer as well. Okay. That signing was Shadow Boxer, the creative, the writer, whatever, was signed to write music for television and film. So I get thrown, whether it's briefs, whether it's a synopsis of a movie, television show, okay, there's a scene in this movie right there. It'd be dope if there was a song that accompanied it. And I don't necessarily have to perform the song. Any other artist can do it. I just have to provide whatever that context or top lining of the song is, and that's it. And that my job is done. If it's accepted and they run it, hey, it's royalties, I get a check. If they don't accept it, I just need to send more. I need to write more. So it's more like a volume game. You know what I mean? Send 200. You know what I mean? 10 of them might stick. You know, and yeah, that's how you earn and you make money. So it's basically, dude, you know how to write. You're dope. We love your concepts. We love how you see things. So help us out with your perspective, and we'll pay you. So that's basically what it was. What it is.
We've got that clear, because when they say sign, of course, Idris Elba, he's an artist. Everybody thought, just like you signed to a record label.
Right.
So I'm happy you were able to make that clear. How's your relationship with Idris?
Oh, good relationship. One of the busiest people I know. But
he has a family, right?
Yeah. He has a wife. He has a daughter. I think.
No. I mean, you guys are family. Like.
Oh, family. Well, not quite blood related.
Okay.
How I got to know him. At the time, his cousin was married to my sister. Yeah, and her oldest, my sister's oldest, who is now, she was born in 99, so 24? She's 24. At her first year birthday party was where I met Idris. So 23 years ago is when I met Idris, and since then, it was an on and off thing first, and then we got really super close, and then he became the big Idris Elba, and then one of the hardest people to catch and stuff like that, whatever. But cool dude. What is March 2nd, right?
Right.
Yeah, he was just here a few days ago, whatever. Connected with him. It's cool. Everything is well.
So you guys are good.
Yeah,
because it seems like Drizzy and Idris are really cool.
Oh,
were you the plug for that? Because everybody's saying,
Nah. So there've been times. There were times before they met. There've been times where, and not just Drizzler. There've been times where I'm very selfless.
Okay.
If there are creatives that I believe are really dope and they are of Sierra Leonean descent, in my own time, when I have Idris's audience, I tell him about these creatives. Yo, we need to check this out. I remember one time I did that for Ali Kamara. I was in the studio working on something, whatever. Ali Kamara put out a dope piece, And right then and there, I was like, yo, bro, you need to see this. And I showed it to him, and he was blown away. And literally 2 days later, he tweeted it, and talked about it. So I do that on the regular. Okay. So have I had the conversation come up before about a kid named Drizzler? Yes. However, every single thing that Drizzler is getting now, whether it's due to his relationship with Idris, is 100% Drizzler. Okay. It's hard work. He's been working hard. He's been very consistent. He's original. He's somebody that I always look at him in high regard in terms of his craft and his creativity. So, more blessings to him.
All right, cool. Yeah. Don't go anywhere because I'll be right back after this.
Doro World Traveler, how is your Miami vacation going?
Fine, babe. I'll be back next week and I've bought you a lot of things.
Well, I hope the designer bag you promised is included. No excuse this time.
That expensive bag? Babe, I am now in Malaysia.
UBA cards work from Moscow to Malaysia, from Malaysia to Miami. Bros, you can't escape this time.
Hell! Babe, are you there? I can't hear you again, oh. Your line is breaking. Hello? Hello? Wherever you travel in the world, don't go without your UBA card. UBA, Africa's global bank.
I'm still here. Of course, this is Keister, the Road Talk Show. With me in the building, nobody but Shadowboxer. You know what I mean? Shadowboxer. Brothers, welcome back, Shadowboxer.
Yeah, definitely was up.
So while, in your prime, when Shadow was Shadow, right. There's no way, of course, you're going to be here and not ask all these questions, even though it's been long gone, but you have an opportunity like that, you don't let it go. You've had issues with people in the industry. Some of the issues, is more like you started it.
Oh, really?
Right. That's how it looked. Basically you were trying to get recognition. Right. You know what I mean? So it's like, okay, let me pick a fight. Right. Because the fight you had with one particular person, everybody would say it wasn't really called for. You literally just went to the studio and be like, shit, I'm ready for you because I want to be known. Right. Was that the aim? What happened with that?
Yeah, well, are we talking recent or back in the day?
Recent, back in the days, everybody, everything.
Now, there's two ones that you can talk about. There's one that honestly, I've never seen even the reason why it should be even brought up or whatever, but it does come up, whatever. And that's with my brother, the ambassador, Calvin Nero. Okay. So people, used to bring that up. Like, man, there was one time you had that record that you did, whatever. Man, it's hip hop, man. We stick our chest out. That's what we do. Okay. You know what I mean? If we feel slightly that somebody's talking about, us or talking about me or whatever in a certain light, whatever, it could be subliminal, it could be direct. If we feel as if, we need to let them know who's who, that's just what we do. And I want to say at that time, but honestly, even now, I still don't feel like anybody touches me now. But
really,
we can go back at that time. Okay. I just felt like I don't care who was doing what. You know what I mean? When it comes to lyricism, when it comes to wordplay, when it comes to delivery or whatever, like nobody comes close. You know what I mean? Like I feel like I'm first, second, third, fourth, fifth, all of that.
Really?
Yeah, that's how I feel. You know what I mean? Okay. And I still feel that way today. It's like I wouldn't go into the studio now and say I want to go make a record where I'm going at this guy or I'm trying to just brag to everybody how well I could rap. I'm not doing that anymore. I already did that, So I'm trying to do certain records now that either feed my soul or could feed yours. Those are the kind of records and, chill, not being that way or whatever. And then the other one was people told me like when you made the record dissing MI, like what was the whole
what was the point?
Point behind that. This dude don't know you, whatever. And again, I'm the one person that's gonna tell you, if the tables were turned, right? If the tables were turned, which actually similar situations have happened where I feel lesser known rappers have barked at Shadowboxer and said a few words here and there in the song, whatever. I would not be in a position to reference you back or bring attention to you because it benefits you more than it would me, right? So no matter what you say, it doesn't even matter. Do you? You know what I'm saying? So with the whole MI thing, when I made the record, I already knew the best, or being his best interest, is not to respond for two reasons. One, it will benefit me more than it would him.
Right.
He's a bigger figure. You know what I'm saying? More of a following. He's accomplished more, way more. Let's be honest, right? Especially when it comes to African hip hop, he's accomplished way more. So it makes sense for that reason not to respond, because it would actually just shed a lot more light to whatever I got going than how much benefit it would be for him.
Exactly.
So that's the first reason. The second reason, it will be foolish for him to respond to me, because I will body him any day of the week.
Whoa.
No, but that's just how I feel. He's a dope MC. He really is. He really is a dope MC. But when I'm in my bag, like when I'm in my bag, like when I'm there. You know what I mean? Like this, you lose every single time. Okay. You know what I mean? That's
so you feel basically you're saying that, and I was scared. Okay, am I scared of my shot boxer?
I feel that. But again, whether scared or not, I get it. I get why he wouldn't respond to the dude from Sierra Leone, asking compared to 200 and something million in Nigeria, plus their global reach is bigger. Whatever. Yeah, if he did that, whatever, it's almost like by default now he's working for me, because he is definitely putting me out there.
Of course, I don't think you want to do that.
Yeah, you don't
but
want to
then,
do that.
Of course, there's practice in Samsung. Of
Yeah.
course, you were the inspiration.
Yeah.
I think I remember in the other show when they did an interview with them. Of course, you talk about Shot Boxer. They wanted to be you. They were part of WAF ENT.
Yeah.
So definitely, I think you guys had a song.
Yeah, respect. Yeah.
For some reason, a lot of people are saying Crack Twist killed you on that song. He bothered you. How you feel about that?
Respect. Did Crack Twist get me on respect?
That's what the fans are saying.
It was
because he had some lyrics in there where basically it was like, he did not dish you, but he really said
I know. I forgot the
lyrics, but people picked up on it.
It's been so long. I don't know. I can't repeat the words or whatever. But so songs stick out to me like when we did the Get Em remix, Mr. Best had a song called Get Em.
Right, Get Em, yeah.
Yeah, I thought Drizzler bodied me on that one. You know what I mean? My verse was dope.
And It's a Goal, I think.
It's a Goal. I bodied Drizzler. What are you talking about?
Oh, really?
It's a Goal? You talking about
It's
a Goal verse?
Yeah.
Man, Drizz's verse was cool on It's a Goal. It was nice.
So it's Get Em like you really
it was Get Em he got me. He got me. Yeah. Okay, but it's a Goal. I got it. I think he got me.
Drizzle, we've had this conversation. Okay, I'll go back to that one. Anyways.
Hey, Driz, anytime, any day, whenever you're ready, let me know. And then what was the joint that Bosch produced for us? Play. It's called Play with August 16.
Okay.
Yeah, that record. Okay, I think Driz really he's been getting me. Yeah, he's been getting me. So whether I'm being caught off guard, I'm not so ready, or he's just super ready, whatever.
He's always ready. Driz don't play.
Yeah, man. So yeah, he's got me. But I don't know. I don't know if Crack Twist. I don't know about that. Yeah, I don't know if Crack Twist got me on that one. I don't know if he got me. Yeah. See, now I got to do a song with him again.
No.
Yeah, Crack Twist. We're doing a song together. I got to get you. In case you say you got me on respect, for me to get you. No worries.
I'm not saying they said that, but the fans, they were rating you guys.
Yeah.
And, so basically it was a thing where they're like, this one,
honestly, even if he did, so who better?
For them,
who better to get me?
Of course, they're super excited, like you're the inspiration. So, it is what it is. They're going to try to, outdo you.
Yeah.
And I think my son is coming for you. Drizzler.
It's okay. I got Drizzler.
So, with this new project that you were talking about, do you have any of these artists, or like you said earlier, it's really about you just expressing yourself?
It's a personal. It's a very, very personal body of work. I got there's a record. I'm not sure if it's gonna make the project, but I have Donnie Major. Me and Donnie Major worked on a cut. I got Blocka. Me and Blocka P worked on a cut. Okay. I got this very dope creative that lives in the States. Her name is Nata. She's a rapper. Yeah, she's dope. She raps, she sings. She's dope. So we did something together. Who else? I even got a song with Kyle, the ambassador. I got a song with him. Yeah.
Oh, I can't wait.
Yeah, I'm not sure, what cuts are gonna actually make the album. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But I did work with a few creatives. I worked with Shaq Cogbo, SK Renaissance, that's in the States.
Mm-hmm.
Me and him have a record together. But again, like I said, the project's very emotional. You know what I'm saying? Like I was in a certain place. I lost a really good friend of mine, December a couple of years ago. So from that moment on, like, that situation didn't help whatever mental state I was in either. You know what I mean?
Okay.
It just made things worse, But in that moment, I found time to actually, express myself through my music. And that's what most of this project's going to be. That's what you're going to hear.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm still here. Of course, we're almost at the end of the show, but I still have Shadowbox in the building with me. Don't go anywhere.
Yeah.
I'll be right back after this commercial break.
Hi, I am Leo, a super geek who's obsessed with artificial intelligence. I'm sure you're wondering how I got here.
Hi, Tony. It's been hard trying to find a quick way to send the cash across to you. The bank is quite far from where I stay.
Girl, I'm trying to call that pop-up shop I saw on IG. I need them shoes for a party this weekend.
Wait a minute, I can solve all these problems. All I have to do is get back to my geek zone and get cracking. That's how I created this great virtual solution. Chat with me on Facebook Messenger and experience a whole new world of banking solutions without going to the bank. Make transfers, buy airtime, get account statements, and more. After all, going to the bank is boring. Like, I can't drink this delicious coffee and fill a teller at the same time. Get it?
We're almost at the end of the show. Of course, I still have Shadowbox in the building with me. This is really fun. It's been interesting.
Yeah.
A lot of drama on me afterwards. Expect Shadows to go to the studio because he's trying to get back at some people. But anyway, welcome back, Shadowbox. And welcome. You know, I got to pull your leg on that one because of practice is like my son, and everything else.
Yeah.
There's no way you come here and not talk about your two sons who try to be you. But at the same time, when a body on your song, however, we have a courtesy case. So they put them 3 on the song, right? Don't you think? But anyway, so the industry, a lot is going on in the industry.
Right.
A lot is going on in the industry right now. How do you feel about what's going on? Do you feel like we're making progress, or still just there, just hating on each other, not going anywhere?
We are where we are. How should I put it? Based off of our energy and based off of the vibe that we bring to the table as a collective, we are where we're supposed to be.
Okay.
You know what I mean? We are where we're supposed to be. There's certain things we would change. We would change our approach to. We should change our approach towards one another. And embrace what makes us us. You know what I mean? What makes us us. I think if the majority of us do that, I think that's where it starts. That's where it starts. I think we probably can get more recognition. But then you have to understand, this is our market. Our market is so small. It is so small. You know what I mean? It's very unfair sometimes when if any creative wants to sit there and compare yourself to a Nigerian creative that's doing well and all that, whatever, you're doing yourself an injustice, And
I think that's the issue, the comparison. Because even the fans are like, look Nigeria, look these, look down there. It's almost, even with me, it gets so irritating sometimes, and I'm just sitting there. Sometimes I want to speak up, but then I'm like, let me just ignore them.
Yeah.
Because then this will be a whole argument, go back and forth.
Yeah, our economy is what it is. Our GDP is what it is. The minimum wage, what people make is what it is, we don't have a middle class, you know what I mean? Like in this country, the middle class really drives everything, you know what I mean? We don't have that, so we have some folks that's doing really well, then you have the majority of people that's really, really struggling, you know what I'm saying? You can't expect, to say, I'm about to have me a whole bunch of money that I'm about to make off of, music that I put out and videos that I've done, and then, how much buying power does, this demographic really have? How many people go and stream your stuff on Spotify and you make some money? How many times, somebody from our heads going to give you those YouTube views that you're looking for? That not only just regular YouTube views, but the views that would actually pay you a certain type of money where you don't have to have a side hustle. You know what I'm saying? Where music is just your hustle. That's what you do. You know, it's almost impossible for it to happen. You know.
So you feel like we're just doing it, but it'll be
but the thing is,
impossible for us to really get there.
Without what is going on right now, you know, like anything that grows and blossoms, you know, there's a foundation, there's a root, there's something that strengthens it before it gets to where it needs to go. Yeah, we the ones that's really sacrificing for that. We're the ones that sacrificing for that future generation. The future generation are gonna figure it out. They're gonna know how to take advantage of the digital space. They're gonna know how exactly to market themselves, whether it's online and whatnot, because if we can't really rely on just the demographic within these walls or within these borders and saying that this is the demographic that's going to pay my monthly car note, I'm going to build this house for me or whatever. It's rare that it happens. You know what I'm saying? There's been, artists that, be able to do that, but it took them, a long time to basically get that. And I'm talking about these are the ones that at some point were the top dogs. Okay. The ones that was actually doing very well. You know what I mean? I mean, if you're not that top dog and whatnot, if you don't, I don't want to say the word, but get out word and see what you get. If you get political affiliates or alliance, sometimes that seems better, financially beneficial for you. If you're not doing those things or whatever, how do you eat? You know what I mean?
I feel like that's why people are really trying to get connected to these people so they can make money.
Oh yeah,
but they gotta survive, and I get it. I feel like to each his own. What works is what works. So Cactus is something I just wanted to bring it up. As much as we were joking around about Cactus and stuff like that. I still have another conversation with them. Yes, I can't really say. But it is confirmed that they are fired. How do you feel about that? Because these are like, for me, I feel like, these are the future. These are the people we're looking up to,
I'm split. I'm split with that. Like, Samza is my guy. Crack Twist is my guy. Even Crack Twist reached out to me the other day, we're trying to work on a project or to work on a record. Told me I got you. He has something he's trying to put out, so I'll definitely work with him. But same thing, if Samza were to reach out, be like, hey, I have a song I need you on. Yeah, just do it. Man, I wish I could talk to them. Like, what the hell is going on with you guys? Like, you guys, you're amazing together. Like, why the split? But then again, there's growth, there's evolution. Maybe both of them just, whether it's from a business perspective, they feel that they'll do better alone, and I support both of them.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So, Shadowboxer, we know you're going to be doing different type of music. The fans, us, we still want to dance. I mean, we're not looking for confidential because that song never gets old. It's still a hit. You know what I mean? The minute you say Shadowboxer, everybody can sing it word for word. However, I mean, we still want music. Are you going to just go back to the studio right after the show and start working on music for us to dance? You know what I mean? Because I'm saying, what's the next big thing for Shadowboxer?
I have a couple. Records that I would say have a bop, you know what I mean, or a bounce to it that you can, you can catch. And I mean, me, I don't dance, you know what I mean. So
you can't even dance. It's not like I don't dance. You don't even know.
Let me tell you something. I be visualizing it in my head, right? And it looks so awesome in there. It's just that to physically do it, I'm like, if I attempt to do what I'm thinking, it will just come out all wrong. So I'm not even going to try it, so I just don't do it. Oh. That's how it ends up for me.
But there's some songs that we're looking forward to.
I got you.
The other song with Mellow 7, you didn't really push that song.
Champion. Yeah, Champion. Oh, first up, shout out Mellow 7, man. Like, when you're talking about the dope creatives today, right now, in the country, Mellow 7, definitely at the top of my list. He checks all the boxes for what I look for in a creative, especially if you're Sierra Leonean, and to be in the genre that he's in, right? And where everyone is trying to sound Nigerian, you know what I mean? Oh my God, he's singing in Nigeria pidgin, you know what I'm saying? You're not even from Nigeria, but you got all these different Nigerian jargons in your song, you know what I mean? Mellow just, he keeps it 100% Salone. I love that, you know what I mean? And he's dope, sounds good. He's all around good kid. I love
Since you started with people like Mellow 7, you didn't wait for me to ask you all those questions, but however, I mean, who are the other artists you feel like have it, and the ones that really don't have it?
The ones that don't happen.
Yeah.
Jeez.
From Shadowbox.
I don't want to tell anybody what to do with their time.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? You know, it's a free country.
Right.
You know what I mean? No one's bound to any laws that say you cannot rap. You know what I mean? But I'm gonna spend my energy talking about the ones that I think got it.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So if you want to do by process of elimination, if I didn't call you, then maybe you don't got it. But yeah, off the top of my head, I'll go Mellow. She already know Drizzler.
Mm-hmm.
Drizzler's doing his thing. Love my girl Natasha. Natasha's doing her thing.
Mm-hmm.
Who else right now is active? You got the legends, of course. I'm not gonna forget Star Z. Star Z's amazing. She does what she does.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't heard from LXG in a while. They're dope. Geez, who else? Empress P. Love her. Love her evolution. She's changing. Like, she may think I don't listen, but I do. You know, I listened to her, before she was the Empress P that would just spit. And now she calmed it down a little bit. Then she would throw a little singy something in there. You know what I'm saying? So I listened to her verse on Maurice's joint or whatever. The Cheek joint. Yeah, her verse is dope. Shout out to Maurice, by the way. That's another dope creative as well. I haven't heard from him in a while, so other than the song I just talked about.
Mm-hmm.
Who else that I can really name that's doing it, man? There's a bunch of them out there. If I ain't say your name and we have conversations all the time, and I've told you dope, that's one thing I wouldn't lie to you in no DMs or no WhatsApp message. If you're whack, I probably just don't respond. You know what I mean? But if you're dope and I say you're dope, that means you're dope.
And come to think of it, responding, are you open for collaborations? Because people are still actually reaching out to me to reach out to you. At some point, I really just told them, you gotta wait. And of course, that was during the time you were going through, what you were going through. So, are you open? Because there are people that still want you.
It really all depends, honestly. It
depends on the artist.
It doesn't even depend on the artist. It's a vibe thing. You know what I mean? There was a kid from Philly just reached out to me a few weeks ago, and it took me a minute just to get back to him. He finally reminded me again through another message, saying he has an artist. Send me the artist over. I listened to all that. I ain't saying, I wasn't blown away, but at the same time, I'm like, okay, they got something they're working with. Maybe they just need a little push. They need somebody to help them. So what they want? You want Boxer to give you a verse? I got you. I'll give you a verse, I ain't gonna charge you. You know what I'm saying? You feel like buying cool WhatsApp on me, send me whatever that is. Okay. You know what I'm saying? But other than that, I got you.
So it depends on the vibe, basically.
Depends on the vibe.
So when are we expecting this music? Can you give me a timeline, please? Because I know that's gonna be somebody's watching people. Just tell who said this music.
During Ramadan, he said feature, he said salon. Yeah. It's like a dead zone. Everybody's spiritually engaged. You tell me nobody plug them, buy them, all that shit, and be shut down. Even the Christians be supporting us, Like when it's Ramadan, Christians be chilling too. You know what I'm saying? I think Lent, exactly. So it may coincide even a little bit with Lent, right? Yeah, a little bit. So expect. I'm going to unveil something intimately and privately before Ramadan, but definitely after Ramadan, everything should be everywhere on all streaming platforms and stuff like that. So,
and the handle is still Shadowboxer.
And it was still Shadowboxer, BOXXER. Look, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all those places. That's where you find.
Okay. So lastly, before we go, I'm just gonna take you back a little bit.
Okay.
To you going through depression.
Right.
What would you say to somebody right now who's been watching, probably during the show, chilling, loves you, is probably battling with it? Because like I said, we all go through it. It's just a process. Everybody's different. I handle mine differently. Other people handle theirs differently.
Right.
However, like you said, yours go for a very long time.
Right.
Some people just snaps in and out. So what would you say to somebody who's actually going through depression right now?
Yeah, so I mean, what I have to say to you is, don't ever feel as if it's not going to get better. It does get better. It's one of those things where it's just a matter of time. Everyone's different. Just like Eileen said, some people it's a day or two, some people it's months, and but at the end of it all, you'll get better. Don't forget, lean on your support system. Most importantly, some people may think it's underrated. but spirituality, yeah, God. Doesn't matter your faith, Christian, Islam, this doesn't matter. Just meditation, that's another form of spirituality. Engage in that. But it does get better. It does get better. It will be okay. You are not alone. Doesn't matter if you're white, black, tall, short, rich, poor. So many people share that same exact thing. It's not cool, but it is what it is. That's what that's what we deal with. But that's the key word. We deal with it. You know what I mean? We deal with it. We get through it. We get to the point where we can actually sit and tell our story and inspire people. So it'll be all right.
Thank you so much for throwing a light, because a lot of people don't want to talk about it. I think that's the issue. Yeah. But I always say it every week, check on your strong friend.
Indeed.
Mental health is real. People
real.
think, mental health is really that, mad person out there, Chrisman per se. But you can be going through it and don't know it. Right. However, at the same time, somebody else is going through it and smiling. Yeah. You know what I mean? So you don't. So it's really check on your strong friend. Of course, just check on each other, embrace each other. I wish you all the best. Definitely I pray for you all the time. I'm still gonna be praying for you because I feel like you can do a lot more. Sometimes I do get in that space where I'm mad at Shadow Boxer. Like Shadow could be doing X, Y, Z. Right. Shadow could be doing this, but then when I know what I know, then I'm like, God help him. Right. You know what I mean? Because when you're in that state, you don't want to do anything. Like you said, sometimes you want to put music out. Sometimes you're just like, fuck it. I don't want no music or whatever. Mm-hmm. But all the best. I hope you know how to cope.
Indeed. Again, it's not a being alone thing. You know what I mean? Right. It's knowing that you do have a good support system. Okay. I tell you, the most amazing human being that I have in my corner, my wife, that lady, man, when I tell you, there's just so many ways that she supports me physically, mentally, spiritually. I mean, she's just there, and just her entire family. You know what I mean? So it's like I gained like a huge network of support. Ever since we got married, and she became my best friend. So it's been cool. It's really been cool.
Thank you for being here. I'm excited.
Thank you for having me.
We're looking forward to the music. I don't want to go, but of course I have to go. We're on the show. However, I have a gift for you.
Oh, gifts! I love gifts.
Yeah, definitely.
All right.
And then like I said already, I wish you all the very best of everything.
I appreciate you.
Fans love you. Expect you good music.
I appreciate you.
Don't come here and talk about I don't want to do good music.
Nah, I got you. I got music coming on the way, and I want to come back. So invite me again. Yeah.
Oh, definitely. You'll be here as much as you can, as long as you see what you. He's here. For collaboration. I don't want to go. Well, I have to go right now. Being a host today, Eileen Keister. Till next week.
Blessings. So I'm part of your quotes. Blessing.
You guys ever notice it?
I am only one, just like the sun.
Shadow Boxer.
Yeah. One, just like the sun, just like her. She's solo, no competition. Like there's no competition. Hey, let me stop, right? Please stop, see that for you.
Let's watch the Real Talk with Eileen TV show. By our very own daughter of Sierra Leone, Eileen Keister.